Like G-Shock watches, but wish you could weaponize them with a knife? The Ultimatest Incorporated is bringing you the EDCEST EDC knife and sheaths to mount the knife on your watch, as well as a pen, same thing. And the Ultimatest sent me this box of EDCEST pens, knives, and sheaths for me to look at on the Jim Kincaid YouTube channel. So let's pop these suckers open and see what we got. All right, this box has the EDCEST knife right here. Look at that. Steel knife. And it's the EDCEST because it's so dadgum small that you can everyday carry it everywhere. So EDC stands for everyday carry. And with a knife this small, you have no excuse to have it with you all the time. So EDC is now a substantive quality, and EDCEST means they are the superlative of EDC knives. Look at the bevel on that. Right here we have a bevel for cutting, so it cuts on the side, and the front is a bevel for scraping. Now this pattern here in the back is for integration into the sheath. Now just wait, one of these boxes will have a sheath and it will mount to your watch, okay? So that's why it's the EDCEST knife, is because anywhere you can wear a watch, you can wear a knife, and there's a pen in here too. So be patient, we'll get to looking at them all. And I just noticed that this side has, you know, almost like saw teeth right here. You see that? Anyways, let's see what the other boxes have. That's one EDCEST knife. And here's another. Look at this. Two EDCEST knives. This one looks like it's blacked out. Some type of finish on it. Let me get it out of the bag. Look at that. You still have these bevels for cutting, scraping, and sawing, but it has some type of coating on it. What type of coating, I don't know. But if you want more information, go to the Ultimatest.com. Okay? The Ultimatest Inc. are the ones who designed and sold these. They are made from different components from around the world. I know that the company itself is in Korea. You can see here that this must be the sheath, 3D printed in France, Sculpteo, France. All right. And so, these are heat treated, and I believe they're heat treated in the United States. All right. And so let's see which one of these has the sheath. Oh my goodness. Look, we got two sheaths in here. So we have a variety of sizes to test, and you can see that printed onto the sheath is a label. Okay. And so maybe this one will be a little bit easier to read. This label says CSHK. All right, I don't know what that means, but we'll look through them all. And these are the sheaths for the pen, all right? So the pen goes in this sheath. Let me just unbox them all. Let's find that pen. Oh, look at that. Here's the pen as well as some refills. Now, obviously, each pen does not hold much ink, but this is the EDCEST pen, meaning it's going to go with you anywhere your watch can go. Now let me just pop it into, oh look, it's labeled G-Shock. All right, that's good, because, you know, I own a few G-Shock watches. You can see in this G-Shock toolbox. So we'll try them out, but let's see if we can get the pen in here. And bing, bang, boom, there you go. This is what the EDCEST pen looks like in its sheath. And if you wait 1 minute, I will show you what it looks like on the watch. All right, and now there's another pen in here. So I got two sets of pens, all right? Now, if you are interested in any of these, like I said, go to the Ultimatest.com. And you can buy the pen or a knife, and you buy the sheath that you need for your watch, okay? So you have to measure your watch and get the right sheath. And I will try these on, okay? But first, let's see. This must this must mean G-Shock watch, right? GSKW, G-Shock watch. And here is the EDCEST knife in its case. Did you hear that click? I was talking over it. Let me click it in again. Listen. Get some positive audible feedback that the EDCEST knife is locked into its sheath, which will go on a G-Shock watch. And let's just start out with, which watch should we try out first? As you can see, I have a number of G-Shock watches, including this one, which is the MIP Square. So this will be similar to all your G-Shock Square watches. I believe it has a similar width. And let's slide it on and see what happens. All right. There we go. Firm fit. All right. So this G-Shock is now weaponized with the EDCEST knife. How about that? Let me take off the watch I'm wearing now, this G-Shock Fine Metallic Series. Look at that. That's my church watch. And let me try on my G-Shock watch that has the EDCEST knife. Look at this. All right. That's sweet. Really aggressive styling, all right? And this blacked out EDC knife matches my watch perfectly, my G-Shock watch. And look at that bevel of that cutting blade. A little bit of bling right there. How about that? Now we have to test out this knife, okay? And so to do that, I have a few things that I often use a knife for. Number one, cutting open these cheese packages. Now you see that the cheese is already open. I tried to find a cheese package that was not open, but of course, in my house, all the cheese packets are open and almost finished. So we're gonna simulate what it'd be like. Pop the EDC knife out of its sheath. Let's pretend for a second that this wasn't open. Oh yeah, that cut through this package like nothing. So annoying to open up these packages, but with the EDCEST knife, you're ready to go. Cut open your cheese. And by the way, a lot of laundry detergent is packaged in these bags. We can pop it open. Now, I'm just joking around. What I often need a knife for in a pinch is for zip ties. If I'm working on equipment where cables or hoses are bundled together with zip ties, I'm thinking, as I hold on to the hose with one hand, it would be nice to have a knife to cut open the zip tie. Well, if I'm wearing my G-Shock watch with the EDCEST knife on its band, I can easily pop out my EDCEST knife and cut through a zip tie. Boom! Did you see that? Really nice, really easy to do. And this is a thick zip tie, well, medium thickness. I thought about using one of those rinky-dink zip ties first, but no way. Here on the Jim Kincaid YouTube channel, we jump right into it. So I pulled out the EDCEST knife, and I just realized that you could put this knife in either way, right? Is this symmetrical? Could you turn it around? Yes, you could turn it around so you could have the cutting blade up or down, all right? Oh, and look at all these tags here. They have all these safety tags. These are really annoying. Let me cut off these annoying safety tags with my EDCEST knife. Let me see if I have the finesse to cut the tag without cutting the cordage. And look at that. Easily slice through these annoying safety tags. Like a hot knife through butter. Look at that. Gentlemen, this blade cuts really well. That is sweet, all right? And so you can get rid of all of these annoying safety tags, and you could stow your knife into the sheath. It's a positive audible feedback there, all right? Now, like I said, there's a number of different sizes on the Ultimatest website when you go there, so you'll want to measure the width of the band. Now, as you notice, G-Shock watch bands, a lot of them are tapered. A lot of bands in general, they're tapered when they're like factory bands. They might start wide and then taper down to a smaller size. So make sure you measure exactly what size you need. Now, a lot of watch bands that don't taper, they're kind of like a standard size. And I'll just use this G-Shock watch as an example that this band doesn't taper at all, okay? And so it's important to take note of what size the band is on the spot of the watch where you want the sheath to rest, okay? Because like this band, as you can see, is too thick for this particular sheath. And so when you order from the Ultimatest.com, first you'll select your knife. And like I just showed you, you have a blacked out EDCEST knife, and you have a handsome silver EDCEST knife. Look at all those bevels shine. This is faceted knife. Like I said, scraper, cutting blade, and you have a little bit of a saw blade here with some teeth, some ridges here, which will saw through. Well, we ought to test what this can saw through, okay? You just saw me cut through the zip tie, right? Well, how about a real world example of cutting through a zip tie? Stay tuned. We will be using this EDCEST knife out in the field, okay? But anyways, back to my rant about the size of the bands. A lot of bands are 22 millimeters or 24 millimeters. And so you want to measure the size of your band, exactly where you want the sheath to slide up on your watch band, okay? My square here, even though it's an MIP screen, has a standard length of the width of the band. And so see how it goes in right here? You want it to be a little tight so it doesn't slide down. But look how these notches here are helping to hold that in place, all right? Now will this G-Shock size fit on the AE 1500 or the AE 1600? That's a good question. Here is the Casio AE 1600 with the extended wristband, and I have this G-Shock sheath. And let me get the EDCEST sheath onto the band. No, all right, you have to get a wider one. That's no problem. That's why we're trying it out. Gentlemen, I just noticed this. Take a look at this label on the sides. G-Shock W, and this one says GSKW, and this one says GSRKW. That's why you have to pay attention to what size you're dealing with, okay? This one labeled GSKW fits on the AE 1500. So here we go. One of the biggest, most aggressive Casio watches is now equipped with the EDCEST knife. Take a look at that. Look how that sick puppy shines in the light. That's a really cool look for the Casio AE 1500. And this is the extended wristband version that I got on Walmart. Okay, so I'm learning as I go, all right? And as you can see, there's actually two different sizes for your G-Shock. And I think it depends on whether you want it to sit on the wider or narrower part of the G-Shock wristband, okay? Now here's the GD010, and we have G-Shock, the GSKW sheath. As you can see, it fits on, and the notches help hold it right where you want it to go. Get some bling on the buckle, you get the bling on the blade, and you have that beautiful, positive LCD screen on the G-Shock GD010. Now, you know what? Speaking of the GD010, I'm going to take out this knife because guess what I have to cut open? A box. You guessed it. Do you get a lot of boxes at home? Do you want to like go fishing around for a knife just to cut open a box? You don't need to with the EDCEST EDC knife. If you're wearing a watch, you're wearing a knife and you're ready to cut open anything. Now what watch is in this box, you might be asking? Well, you'd be surprised to learn that it's actually another G-Shock watch. Which one? Well, stay tuned to the Jim Kincaid I hope nobody saw. Stay tuned to the Jim Kincaid YouTube channel because we got another unboxing coming up. And you can count on the EDCEST EDC knife being there, okay? Okay, let's look at the pen. We've spent a lot of time on the knife. We've cut open a variety of things with the EDCEST EDC knife. Now let's look at the pen, all right? One of my choices for writing is Write in the Rain with their waterproof notebook paper. So let's pop out the EDCEST pen and try writing. Let me just write the name of this YouTube channel, which surprisingly enough happens to be my name. Jim Kincaid. .com. I also have a website, all right? And so you could see me writing with the EDCEST pen, all right? Now, obviously, the point of the EDCEST pen is convenience. If you're wearing a watch, you can wear this pen. You'll always have a pen with you. Is it the best writing pen? Well, that's a matter of debate, but I can tell you that this pen writes. It writes well enough. It took me a little bit to get used to. As you can tell, I have fat fingers, right? Let me write the name of this company, which is their website. Let me just try writing their website. www, as all websites have, the Ultimatest. So don't forget the Ultimate. I forget how to spell ultimate. My English teacher is probably watching, probably freaking out. All right, Ulta. It's not an E. Ultimatest. .com. All right, I ran out of room. But you get the idea. The Ultimatest.com, where you can get the EDCEST EDC knife and the EDCEST EDC pen. All right, I probably should have turned it this way. Would have had more room, but you get the idea. It took me a second to remember how to spell ultimate. All right, spelling definitely not my strong suit, but you know, I'm just being honest. You know, I got to check here, Ultimatest, but that's all right because remembering, looking here how to spell it has implanted in your mind the web address of where you can get the EDCEST EDC pen. Now the thing is that the pen comes with a bunch of replacements, all right? Now, I saw on the website that if you just get like a regular pen from a hotel or whatever and take out the insert, like the whole big long tube with the ink, all you have to do is cut it down to size. Just cut it to be about that size, and then you can replace the little ink cartridge by using the back of your new pen and just push the old one out. All right? And so take it out, push it back in. Bing, bang, boom. You're ready to write. Yes! All right? And so for a size comparison, here's the EDCEST pen. And here next to it, I'll just put the Write in the Rain mini bolt action pen, okay? Now this is a small pen. This is a very small pen. It can fit in your shirt pocket or your pants pocket, right? The EDCEST pen is even smaller, so you have no excuse to have a pen. If you're wearing a watch, you can wear a pen, all right? And so let me get out of my Write in the Rain pouch. I have an even bigger pen, the Metal Readiness pen. A little size comparison between the Write in the Rain Metal Readiness pen and the EDCEST pen from the Ultimatest Incorporated at ultimatest.com. All right, I think that big old pen did not like the comparison, but you get the idea. Look how small this is. Here are lines on the notebook page, okay? That's how small it fits in. Each one of these little boxes is a 1/4 inch. Right, and we can fit this in to a size of, what is that, a 4x3 1/4 inch section. really small. Okay, now let's find the sheath for our pen, which I got all these mixed up, so give me a second. Well, here's another one already in there, all right? Labeled for G-Shock, and so it fits, I think it fits oh wait, hold on, it's going on this G-Shock, all right? Well, there you go. Now I have a pen on my GA 2100 with a Cordura band, all right? And I think that this looks really nice. Let me try it on. Taking off the GD010, putting on the GA 2100 BCE with a Cordura band. Now this is a special kind of band. Not every G-Shock watch has a fabric band, but this looks really aggressive, really stylish, all blacked out. But I do have that positive LCD screen right there in the subdial. So I like the way that all of this looks, all right? And like I said, you have to pay attention to what size band your watch is and get the corresponding sized sheath, okay? Move some of the stuff out of the background. Oh, and by the way, here is a popular EDC pen, the Zebra F701. And here is a pen that you can mount to your watch, the EDCEST pen from the Ultimatest. And which one is easier, do you think would be easier to carry with you all the time? Now, let's try some more extreme examples, such as the GBD H2000. This is my favorite G-Shock watch in terms of comfort. It's a very comfortable watch. I love how comfortable it is. And, you know, with a pen here, the EDCEST pen, I don't think that, you know, just sitting here in my garage that it really negatively affects the comfort level of the band. Now, how much will the pen get in the way? Well, you can see that it definitely does not stick out further than the watch itself, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of like accoutrements that you can add to watch bands. For example, compass. A lot of gentlemen have a compass attached to their watch band. So this has a similar dimension. In fact, I would say probably even a little bit thinner. It's more diminutive even than a compass. Now there's a few different colors of these sheaths. I believe the standard color is gray, and then you can order black or red, with a warning that the black or red dye could possibly come off. Let's try some other of my G-Shock watches, my favorite being the Mudman GW9500. Imagine having a knife on this sick puppy. All right, so as you can see, the Mudman's pretty thick. Where did the other knife sheath go? Maybe the other knife sheath is the answer. Is it still on a watch? Oh, here we go. It's on the GD010. All right. Let me take this knife off. And would you look at that? The Mudman is weaponized with the EDCEST knife from the Ultimatest.com. Yes, this is a knife on the Mudman, ready to slice, dice, scrape, and saw, and it stows away on a strap-mounted sheath. Listen. Let me let that car go by. Listen. Positive feedback for when your blade is clipped into the sheath. That is aggressive styling right there, gentlemen. Let me get the blacked out blade in there. I know that some of you are itching to see. Blacked out blade on the Mudman GW9500 with a rescue yellow band. Let's try more G-Shocks, all right? So now, it's been chaotic, but I figured it out. The Ultimatest, when they sent me these, sent me two different sizes for the G-Shock sheaths for the knives. And, which is good, because I do have some bands that are small and some bands that are large. And I know a lot of you are going to be asking, Jim, what about the Rangeman GW9400? can we get an EDCEST knife on that sick puppy? All right, well, let's grab the thick G-Shock sheath. And look at that, slide on there, no problem. And all of these ratcheting notches on the inside of the watch band will hold the EDCEST knife in place. And we have that firmly onto the strap of the G-Shock Rangeman GW 9400. How's that for aggressive styling? Because this has that coating, right? And so does the metal hardware on my Rangeman GW 9400. If you have some of the silver colored hardware, of course, you can get the blinged out EDCEST EDC knife, and it could match. So which do you like better, gentlemen? Do you like this blacked out, coated blade? Well, of course, the blade is not coated, but the rest of the EDCEST knife is. Or do you like the blinged out, polished steel? Now, what kind of steel is this? I probably should have checked before I hit record, but typical of me and my chaotic unboxings, I don't remember, but I do remember saying that on the website that it was treated in the United States. Heat treated in the United States. So it's a special formula. And you saw me cut through zip tie. You saw me cut through some annoying safety tags effortlessly. And you saw me just plow right through the wrapper of my cheese bag, which could easily be for those laundry pods, right? And you saw how small these knives are. You have no excuse to have a knife or a pen on you because you have these blades that are so small, so easy to carry, but very sharp, very effective, very useful. So gentlemen, check out the EDCUltimatest.com. Here's some more information, the Ultimatest.com, and you have an email. If you want more information about how to buy these EDC pens or knives that you can mount directly onto your G-Shock watch. And like I said, make sure you measure exactly what size you need. You buy the knife or the pen separately from the sheath, okay? So if you wanted to get the pen and the knife like I have, you know, maybe you should just get a whole bunch of sheaths if you have a big collection of watches like I do. But get out your calipers and measure, you know, exactly what size of band you'll need. Like the ProMaster is probably going to be, depending on where you want it to sit, you know, a 20 millimeter. The knife itself comes in a really nice box, suitable for a gift. I would order it now if I was thinking to get one as a gift for Christmas. And I think this would be a great gift for Christmas. Really nice box that the knife came in. Remember, it was in a bag. But you pop open this box. Great presentation. And of course, make sure that you get the right size sheath for the knife. And so easily stuff in a stocking, or you could present both of these as a gift to your buddy, to your friend, to your husband, whoever, your son, cousin, daughter, even Aiden would get a kick out of this. Gentlemen, remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kincaid. Thanks for watching.